Good afternoon, students, Mr. Kidd, Ms. Bett, Mr. Postma, and all members of the Ridley community. Yesterday morning, I woke up with a terrifying realization. I was going to have to present a prefect homily. The only problem, I'd yet to choose a topic or even write a single word. As I had pondered what I was going to do, kicking myself for not having started earlier, I realized I should talk about the issue that got me in the situation in the first place: procrastination. Well, we may all think of procrastination differently. Some as a lazy avoidance of work, others as the inability to meet deadlines, or maybe even as a way of life. It is important to understand the true meaning of procrastination if we are to work towards addressing it. The key distinction that separates procrastination from everything else is that procrastination is a continuous decision to defer the completion of work to a later time or date. Procrastinators are not simply aloof or forgetful. Often, many of us choose to allocate our time in a way that leaves all important work right to the deadlines, just like me writing this speech. And so, with procrastination being such an intentional action, it leaves many to wonder, why would someone choose to procrastinate? While each procrastinator is different, there are a few reasons why many of us love to push deadlines. Have any of you ever said the phrase, "I work best under pressure"? I know that's a mantra I live by. But when you really think about it, is that even true? While you may think working close to a deadline gives you that extra motivation that you need to complete a task that you've been putting off, that same deadline brings alongside it a sense of panic, fear, and stress, a mix of factors not exactly conducive to outputting one's best work. Instead, that need for motivation may just be a veiled need for perfectionism, a feeling that you must be in the perfect mindset to complete a task, or else it may turn out less than ideal. This is why I feel no qualms about finishing an unmarked async assignment right when it's assigned, but find it almost impossible to start an IA worth 45% of my final grade. The reality is, however, that the perfect mindset we desire when trying to complete our work largely does not exist, and certainly won't be found at the edge of disaster. Another reason why many of us procrastinate is due to an inability to manage the many responsibilities and tasks that we have on our plate. Whether juggling tests, assignments, sports, rehearsals, or prefect speeches, it can seem like we often have an insurmountable amount of work to do with barely any time to actually do it. If we feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of incoming deadlines, it can be easy to view them in terms of soonest to latest, causing us to spend too much time focusing on what is closest and leaving us to cram for the work that is due soon after. It also leaves lots of time to be spent unproductively while a deadline seems far out, time that could be better spent managed effectively. While there are many other reasons why people procrastinate, whether due to overwhelming pressure, cramming before a test to hold on to information better, or even challenging oneself to see how you would perform under pressure, these causes all lead to the same effects, some positive, but many others negative. While procrastination can sometimes give you much needed time to relax and reboot, or help you ponder an idea more before you use it, oftentimes its effects are very detrimental. It has been proven that paced out studying yields far better results than cramming for tests, with sleep especially playing a large role in the creation of memories used to remember and apply content on a test. Procrastination causes lags in both of these activities. It can clearly damage not only your academic performance, but your physical health too. The added stress associated with procrastination can lead to many dangerous health conditions and is generally seen as detrimental to one's long-term physical and mental well-being. With current and future opportunities also sometimes hanging in the balance, procrastination can be detrimental or even dangerous, facilitating the need for strategies to help alleviate it. While I know that it is likely difficult for someone to completely rid themselves of procrastination, it is possible to work towards employing strategies to help cope with it in a healthier way. The first strategy you can employ is to make a list of all the tasks you need to complete and label them according to their importance. For example, while an optional review assignment may not carry with it a massive consequence for procrastination, the same cannot be said of a major assignment like an IB-extended essay. By defining how important each task is, you can better understand what needs to be done and use that necessity of completion to motivate you into doing it. You can try to break down larger tasks into smaller pieces and assign specific start and end dates for them. thereby giving you a small boost of accomplishment throughout the process of completing an assignment rather than all at the end. Another strategy you can employ is to try to minimize your distractions while you work. While many of us fill our procrastinated time with unrelated activities, such as social media or video games, one way to stay more focused is to limit these distractions. Whether that means tossing your phone under your bed while doing math homework, or giving your power cable to your roommate for a few hours, try to find ways to stay focused on the task at hand. The last strategy for alleviating procrastination is to simply accept that getting work done now is usually better than getting it done later. Think back to all the times when you pulled an all-nighter to study for that math quiz, only to have it turn out less than ideal. Or the times when you rushed to hand in an assignment at 11:59, only for your internet to crash and you just to submit it late. These experiences should motivate you to start working earlier and leave the last minute only to emergencies or unforeseen events. With that English essay done a day in advance, you have more time to ask for feedback or fix those small grammatical errors, and potentially better your academic standing. With that prefect speech written a few weeks in advance, you may have time to check for flow or interject some funny anecdotes. While procrastination is a common condition that almost all students face on a daily basis, it does not need to be the thing that holds you back from achieving what you want. Whether working to better understand your own relationship with procrastination or starting to employ some strategies to help reduce it, let's start our journey to get there. Not tomorrow, but today. And just as a word of advice to next year's prefects, don't write your speech the day before it's due. Thank you all for your time.